I've got a new 1 acre property on Mount Spokane. My name's Miles McLaughlin here at Wilco Land, rolling out a new listing with you. This is a really cool recreational property up on the base of Mount Spokane. If you're familiar with the area, it's next to Snowblaze condos. And I'll walk you through this listing in this video. I'm going to cover FAQs. I'm going to talk about how you can use the property, who the target audience might be. I'm going to talk about how you can access a property and just answering some of those common questions that people have. So just kicking this video off, as I mentioned, this is a recreational land investment right now. There is long-term development potential down the road, but right now, I forget the reason. I think it might have to do with water utilities, but everybody's advertising these properties back here as recreational land investments. I'll pull up other listings on Zillow and some of the sales too, so we can talk about those as well. But you can see on a bird's eye view, this 1 acre property is located just north of Spokane, up here on Mount Spokane. Okay, so I pulled it up here on Google Earth as well. You can see here's those condos that I'm talking about right at the base of Mount Spokane. Here's your ski and snowboard lessons, right? It's a really cool area. Like you can get on Google Earth and see a lot of the imagery if you're unfamiliar with it, but this would be a cool spot for backcountry skiing, snowmobiling. People are going to use these a lot during the summer as well. Like here's an example of somebody who developed like a little off-grid cabin on one of the properties. Somebody's got a yurt, it looks like, on one of these properties. You can see through the tree canopies, people are using these properties back here. And so that's going to lead me into my next conversation about the target audience of these properties, right? There's people that are flat out buying land like this just for summer camping sites. It's your own private ownership. This is a real estate asset in the United States that can be bought and sold. So first and foremost, this is a really cool recreational land investment for mountain biking, camping in the summers, hiking up here. You have access to Mount Spokane. It's a pretty cool little lot. These are cool properties. We've actually sold a couple ourselves. And you can see, like I said, people are putting in little off-grid cabins, unpermitted cabins, dry cabins, tiny homes, yurts, teepees, campsites, things like that. And so, we talk a little bit about the land usage. And then another, potential reason why somebody might buy this, and here's a good listing. This was actually another listings photos. So people are just coming up here, recreational properties. It's cool to own your own land, and also can be bought and sold. You can put tree forts up. And I talked about yurts, tiny homes, things like that of that nature. People are doing that. We can see that on satellite imagery. And you can see there's a road system that comes through here. So the way you're going to access these properties, and I'll talk about this a little bit more, is you can see the condominiums here, the Snowblaze condos. You would come through here, it looks like, down through here. And during the winter, I believe this could be unpaved. So be careful during the winter. You might need to hike in, snowshoe, or even, take a snowmobile, I guess. You might be able to access during the winter. I'm not sure. So I'm just being transparent about that. So you can see this road comes all the way and hits our property. I do want to make a note that the road doesn't actually go through our property. The road is actually supposed to be on the top end of our property. So if you see my mouse, what we're looking at here on Google Earth is a satellite imagery. It's a GIS map. So it's overlaying a plat map on GIS satellite imagery. Okay. And so this property actually starts just below the road here. So this is where the property line should be, and it should all shift downward. A true survey is going to yield that for you. And I'll pull up another app that I'm using right here. This is the property here on a GIS map. Okay. So you can see that road that you can see on satellite imagery. That goes right here. And then it forks. There's a road that goes up and there's a road that goes down. Now, if this road is actually developed, I'm not sure. I think it is, though. I think all these roads are developed. So I just wanted to point out that's what we're working with, okay? And I'll show it to you on Onyx Maps. It'll make more sense when you can see the property lines. So you can see the road pretty well. Here's one road right here that comes down. Due to the tree canopy, you can't see it that well. Here's a property we own. And here's the road that forks up and goes to the north. And you can see these small red lines. Do you see how this is actually where the road should be? You can see it on Onyx Maps. As I zoom out, I'll get rid of the hybrid look and I'll just look at satellite. You can look at the roads this overlay is in the wrong spot. So I just want everybody to know that this property starts right here at the property line. and goes probably even a little bit further over, like right here, because see how it's wider up top? It's wider up top than it is in the middle of the property. So just realize that this road system on Onyx maps and on some of these GIS maps, it's not being overlaid correctly. We see this all the time. It's no big deal. If you want true boundaries, contact the surveyor. They'll mark it for you. Shouldn't cost that much money. If you're just using it for camping though, use your common sense, right? The property starts about right here, just a little beyond that property line, and ends just a little beyond this, and basically goes all the way down here. Ownership down below it is just, I guess some private owner owns 26 acres somehow. I have no clue how they acquired that, how they came about that, but that's where that would be. Looks pretty unused, but you can see, this road system goes all throughout here. You can see somebody's got a little tiny home here, some sort of development there. Somebody's developed something here. And if you look around, you'll see like little structures. You can barely see it there. It's pretty grainy and blurry, but you'll see like little structures on Onyx Maps and on Google Maps. And I can show you, here's another one. And we might even be able to see it better, but then you get out, you're in Mount Spokane right here. It's a pretty cool location. And I'll pull this up too. We can even look at a time lapse of this property. And I can go back a couple of years, back to 2022, maybe in July. You can see that road exists. You can see this structure looks pretty good there. Again, there's that structure there. So if you bop around here, people are using these properties for recreation, for camping. Here's something in the woods there. So you can see people are hiding out back here during the summer and using these properties for recreation. So they are really cool land investments. Something to keep in mind, it could be a matter of time. The Spokane market's growing. Okay. It could be a matter of time that this area, somebody comes in and a developer comes in, landowners bind together, the resort buys it all up, the resort makes offers on all these properties. We don't know what time is gonna tell, right? This could get developed someday with a bunch of townhomes, condos, or little livable structures that are maintained year round that have all your utilities. So it just takes a developer coming in there, takes maybe the mountain buying all of it up, the landowners coming together, maybe some sort of developer doing this idea. You could have a pretty valuable investment on your hands in 10 years on the road. Not only that, is technology is going to only improve for sources like water, disposing of your waste, septic, things like that. Those options are only going to get better over time for a property like this. So again, if you want to access a property, there is road access to the property. That's no big deal. Use an app like Onyx Maps. This is my favorite app. We talked about it when we talked about property boundaries. The property we own is a Sans Living Trust. You're going to hop on this lower road. It's going to bring you right to it. Our property probably really sits, the real shape of it is probably something like, this, right? Something like following along that road, kind of like that, if that makes sense. That kind of matches probably, what this actually is. That's about an acre that I drew right there. That's really probably what it looks like, just below this road. It is a sloped property, but I wouldn't worry too much about that. Using this thing for recreation, you can build some pretty cool, put some beams down like a deck, and you can build a pretty cool lookout from your property, kind of cool hiking trails, mountain biking trails, things like that. So again, there's a lot of recreation up here to be had. So lastly, I want to touch on the market. People are advertising properties out here, right? I'm on Zillow. This is the price range for recreational property. We do offer seller financing for ours. That's a huge differentiating factor is, we do offer seller financing. So 10, 20, 30% down. We'll work with you on that. This is about a third of an acre less than what we're advertising, a little bit less than an acre here. I don't know what access is like to this property. I don't know which one it is. But this is a presentation. You can see other people are listing these properties, and you can get a really good look by looking at other photos of other properties to see this is what you're going to discover when you go back to our property, right? These are the roads you're going to take to get back to these properties. We're going to be on a hillside. It's going to be a cool area. It's going to be very hidden, private, things like that. You can look at other sales in the neighborhood back here and read about them a little bit more. Here's one for 25. This one sold. This realtor talks about access, the entrance right here, and you drive back here. This is a parcel they sold. You can see this road system pretty well in the satellite imagery too. So that's something to keep in mind. Some of these other listings can help you understand these properties a little bit better, you can read through the realtor descriptions. Again, I'm sitting here in South Dakota. I haven't personally been back here. Some of these people have. So you can read a little bit about these properties through that. That's another way you can learn about these land investments. Here's another one that sold. This was a camping one, I believe. So we actually are using some of the photos from this one just to give you an idea, a depiction of the area. Here's a way somebody used the property right off that main road. They had a small section of land. They said, hey, let's camp on this property. This is a cool idea. This is what we want. Pick some huckleberries in the summer, just things like that, right? This is a good presentation for a property right here like that. So that thing sold, just to give you guys an idea how fast properties sell back here. This thing sold after being in the market for just 30 days, right? So it went pending. They probably had an offer somewhere in here, but this was on the market for 30 days back last summer. So I know we're starting advertising this in the winter. It'll go fast in the summer. We're open to cash offers. I'll always say that. If there's a property, we need to match a property, let us know. We'll do our best. But just keep in mind, this was only a third of an acre too. We're advertising 1 full acre at $29,000. So we feel like we have a really competitive price. We price stuff to sell. We're always open to cash offers, and we do offer seller financing terms as well too. So that's a summary I've got on this property. We've talked about some of these. You can read again through the description on some of these properties to learn more about the area. This one's saying build a cabin, camp out, go hiking, pick huckleberries. So I don't know. Like some of these subdivisions, like just talking about the background of this subdivision is like, I assume a developer came in and they did not finish. Like this is the section they finished and they ran out of money. Maybe it wasn't super feasible. It didn't make sense financially to develop over here. Maybe there wasn't enough demand for people that wanted buildable cabins and all the infrastructure. Maybe running power back here or running water or sewage was too complicated. I don't know the reason why this never got developed, but we know at some point a developer came in and intended to build or create space for buildable properties. Typically developers don't come in to create camping and recreational lots, right? So whether you can build in this property or not, I can't confirm or deny that. I haven't done the due diligence. I haven't done the research on that. You're going to have to figure that out if you want to build. I will challenge you to say, hey, building is a very subjective definition. What is building? Is it a 500 square foot tiny home? Is it a yurt on the property? Those might not require permits. So you have to identify what you're looking to do with the property, because in today's day and age, there's so many creative ways you can use a property, and there's so much technology out there and resources to use property like this. So if this is something you're interested in, if this sounds cool to you, give us a call here at 605-299-5553. If you want to access the property, just use the GPS coordinates in the listing, just like that. We've got a description here. You can read more about that there. We have other listings in Washington State, all across Idaho, Montana, Washington. So take a peek, Oregon, take a peek at the homepage. If you're interested in other land deals, just get with us. You can reach me here at 605-299-5553. And thanks for tuning in.